So we are in chapter 18 and verse 98, right, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, right.
Hare Krishna. So we were seeing the prasang of how Rukmini was pleading to Krishna to take her away, and she never wanted to get married to Shishupal, and her from her childhood, she had through Krishna Katha, she had got attached to Lord Krishna, and that is how she called Krishna to take her away, kidnap her away. So we are in verse 98. एई माता बले प्रभु रुक्मिणी आवेश सकल वैष्णव गण प्रेमे खंडे हसे. In this way, the Lord spoke in the mood of Rukmini as all the Vaishnavas cried and smiled in ecstatic love of God. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking in the mood of Rukmini in a Viraha Bhav to Krishna. केन रंगहाया चंद्रशेखर मंदिरे चतुर्दिके हरिध्वनि सुनी उच्चेश्वरे. Such blissful pastimes took place at Chandrasekhar Acharya's house. The loud vibration of Hari's name filled the four directions. जग जग जगदाके प्रभु हरि दासा नारदेर कासे नाचे पंडित श्रीवासा. Haridas Prabhu called to everyone, wake up, as Srivasa Pandit danced in the dress of Narada. Pratama prahare kautuka vishesha, dvitiya prahare gadadhara pravesha. After 3 hours passed with such blissful scenes, Gadadhara came on the stage. The phrase, so Gadadhar Pandit made entry onto the stage. Suprabha tahana sakhi kari nija sange, Brahmananda tahana badai bhule range. He happily wandered about with Brahmananda, who occupied Gadadhara in the role of his female companion Suprabha. So they were all enacting a drama of the pastimes, and that is how each of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were coming on the stage, which is called Ranga. Hate nadi kanke dali neta paridhana Brahmananda yehena badai vidyamana. So with a stick in one hand, a basket under the arm, and dressed in a fine cotton cloth, Brahmananda looked like an elderly lady. डाकी बाले हरि दासा ऐसा बातो मारा Brahmanand bale ye mathura mara. So Haridasa asked, where did you get this paridhana? Where did you get this veshbhusha? And Brahmananda replies, I got it. We are going to Mathura. Who are you? Sorry, Haridas Thakur called out, who are you? Brahmananda replied, we are going to Mathura. श्रीवासा बालाए दुई कहारा वनिता ब्रह्मानंद बोले केने जिज्ञासा वार्ता. Srivasa asked, who are your husbands? Brahmananda then said, why are you asking these questions? Srivasa balaye jani bare na jujaya haya bali Brahmananda mastaka dulaya. Srivasa said, it is not proper for us. Is it not proper for us to know? Brahmananda shook his head and replied, that's right. Ganga dase bale haji kothaya rahiba. Brahmananda bale tumi sthana khani diba. Gangadasa then inquired, where did you stay today? And Brahmananda said, you will give us a place. Gangadasa bale tumi jina shila bada. Jigyasiya karaya nahi jata tumi nada. Gangadasa then said, you are asking too much. There is no need to ask. Go somewhere else. The word nada means go elsewhere. Advaita balaye eta vichara ki kaja matra smara prananari kena deha laja. Advaita said there is no need for such questions. Others' wives are equal to one's mother. Why embarrass them? नृत्य गीते प्रिया बड़ा अमरा ठाकुरा एथाया नाचा दाना पाई बा प्रचुरा. My Lord is fond of dancing and singing, so dance here and you will obtain great wealth. अद्वैतेर वाक्य सुनी परम संतोषे नृत्य करे गदाधरा प्रेम प्रकाश parakase. Gadadhar was most satisfied to hear the words of Advaita. He then began to dance in ecstatic love. Ramaveshe Gadadhara nache manohara samaya uchita gita gaya anuchara. Gadadhara danced wonderfully in the dress of Rama, the goddess of fortune, as his companions sang appropriate song. In the previous verse, I just want to clarify where we saw Brahmananda had put the vesh of an elderly lady. Okay. So the next verse 104 was Daki Bale Haridasa Keshaba Tomara Brahmananda Bole Ye Mathura Amara. So ये सब किसका है? Haridas saying whose is it? The translation is like this from the Bengali verse I can make out. And ये मेरे mother का है. These vasra is of my mother. So we'll go to the current verse again. गदाधर नृत्य देखी आछे कोण जना विवला हाया नाही करे न क्रंदन. Who would not become overwhelmed and cry on seeing the dancing of Gadadhara? Prema nadi vahe Gadadhare ranayane prithvi haila shika shikta dhyana kari mane. Drenched by tears of love flowing like a river from Gadadhara's eyes, the earth considered herself fortunate. Gadadhara haina yena Ganga Murti Mati Satya Satya Gadadhara Krishnera Prakriti. Gadadhara appeared like the personification of Ganga. In fact, he is the potency of Lord Krishna. So Gadadhara is none other than Srimati Radharani in Chaitanya Leela. So that is how we understand. आपाने चैतन्य बाली याचे बारा बारा गदाधर मोरा वैकुंठेर परिवारा. Lord Chaitanya has repeatedly declared, Gadadhara is my consort in Vaikuntha Leela. ये गया ये देखे सभावासी लेना प्रेमे चैतन्य प्रसादे के हा भैया नाही जाने. Those who sang and those who watched all floated in waves of ecstatic love. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, they lost all external consciousness. Hari Hari Bali Kande Vaishnava Mandala Sarva Gane Haila Ananda Kolahala. All the Vaishnavas cried as they chanted Hari Hari. A commotion of ecstasy arose among them. चौदी के सुनिए कृष्ण प्रेमेरा क्रंदन गोपी कर वेशे नाचे माधवानंदन. The sound of crying in ecstatic love for Krishna was heard everywhere as the son of Madhava danced in the dress of a gopi. The phrase Madhavanandana refers to Gadadhar Pandita, the son of Madhava Mishra. हे नायसा माये सर्व प्रभु विश्वंभर प्रवेश करिले आद्या शक्ति वेशधर. At that time, Vishwambara, the Lord of Lords, came on stage dressed as the supreme goddess. आगे नित्यानंद बूढ़ी बधीरे वेशे बधाईरा वेशे बांका बांका करी हाते प्रेमा रसे बासे. Nityananda, in the dress of an elderly lady, floated in waves of ecstasy as he hobbled in a bent position on stage in front of the Lord. Mandali Haya Sabha Vaishnava Rahila Jaya Jaya Mahadvani Karite Lagila. All the Vaishnavas loudly chanted Hari Jaya Jaya. Keha nare chindite Thakura Vishwambara Hina Alakshita Vesha Ati Manoharam. Lord Vishwambara was disguised in such an enchanting dress that no one could recognize him. नित्यानंद महाप्रभु प्रभु बड़ाई तांड्रा पाछे प्रभु हारा किचु चिन्ह नाई अतएव सबे चीनी लेना प्रभु से बेशा के लाखी थे ना पारे प्रभु से. Since the Lord walked behind Nityananda Prabhu, who was the Lord's elderly lady companion, everyone could understand this is the Lord. Otherwise, nobody could recognize him by his dress. Sindhu haite Paratyaksha ki haila kamala Raghu Simhagrini ki Janaki aila. Has Kamala directly appeared from the ocean? Has Janaki, the wife of the lion of the Raghu dynasty, come? So Mahaprabhu was dressed in such a vesh of Mahalakshmi that people were asking, has he come? And because Nityananda Prabhu was walking along, they could recognize it is Lord. Otherwise, they couldn't recognize it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dressed in the vesh of Mahalakshmi. Kiba Mahalakshmi, Kiba Aila Parvati, Kiba Vrindavanera, Sampati Murti Mati. Has Mahalakshmi or Parvati appeared? Has the treasure of Vrindavana personally come? Kiba Bhagirati, Kiba Rupavati Daya, Kiba Sehi Mahesha, Mohini Mahamaya. Is she Ganga? Is she compassion personified? Or is she Mahamaya, the enchanter of Lord Shiva? एई माते अन्यों ने सर्व जाने जाने न चीनिया प्रभु रे आपने मोहा माने. In this way, everyone was bewildered and unable to recognize the Lord. आजन्माधारिया प्रभु देखाया या हरा तथापि लाखीते नारे तिलर देखा तारा. Even those who saw the Lord since his birth could not recognize him at all. अन्येरा की दया आई ना पारे चिनीते आई बले Lakshmi की बा आईला ना चीते. What to speak of others? Even Mother Sachi could not recognize him. She said, has Lakshmi come to dance? अचिंत्य अव्यक्त की बा माया महायोगेश्वरी भक्ति रस्वरूप हैला आपनी श्री हरि. Has Lord Hari personally become the inconceivable transcendental goddess of all mystic perfections and the personification of devotional service? महामहेश्वर हरा ये रूप देखिया महामोह पैलेना पार्वती लाया. On seeing this form, even Lord Shiva, the best of all demigods, and Parvati became disillusioned. And here there is a reference to Srimad Bhagavatam 8.12, 12 to 25. So give me one moment, I'll open that. So this is all about drama stage where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and associates have put up and are enacting different pastimes. And each of the associates have dressed up in a different way to enact a particular pastime. And in this pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has now dressed up like a supreme goddess. So we will, in that connection, there is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 12th chapter, Mohini Murti incarnation bewilders Lord Shiva. And there are a couple of verses, about few verses. Give me a moment. Eight point 12, 12 to 25. So let's see these verses from Srimad Bhagavatam as it is referred in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So this verse where Mohini Murti in the Samudra Manthan, when the Asuras and Devas were fighting for the they wanted to become eternal, right? So they were fighting for the Amrita Kalash pot. So when the manthan was happening, what comes out first is the visha, is the poison. Then there was nobody to take care of the poison, and at that time, Lord Shiva came, and then he took the poison, and at a particular point goddess Parvati stopped, and he just held his throat, so the poison remained in the kantha of Lord Shiva. So that's why he's called Neelakanta. Because of the poison, his neck became bluish in color. Similarly, various Dhanvantri came from the ocean, Airavat came. So even Mother Lakshmi came out of the ocean. That's why she's called Sagar Putri, or Samudra ki. She's the daughter of Samudra Dev. And when they couldn't figure out how to stop the fight, then Lord Krishna, Vishnu himself had to come as Mohini avatar, and how by his beauty everybody was kind of bewildered by the beauty of Mohini, and then Mohini avatar, Lord himself take the Amrit Kalash pot to serve the devas. So we'll just go through those few verses as quoted here. My Lord, I have seen all kind of incarnations you have exhibited by your transcendental qualities. Now that you have appeared as a beautiful young woman, I wish to see the form of your lordship. So Lord Shiva approached Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu inquired about the purpose for Lord Shiva's coming there. Now, Lord Shiva disclosed his desire. He wanted to see the recent incarnation of Mohini Murti, which Lord Vishnu had assumed to distribute the nectar generated from the churning of the milk ocean. Can somebody tell me from which verse we have to do? 8, 12 to 20, 12 to 25. Okay. So, next verse. My Lord, we have come here desiring to see that form of your Lordship, which you showed to the demons to captivate them completely, and in this way enable the demigods to drink nectar. I am very eager to see that form. So, by Mohini Avatar, what happened to the demons? They were so attracted by seeing Mohini Avatar, they forgot that they were also seeking the nectar. So, by showing such a beautiful form of Mohini Avatar, she captured everybody's attention, and they became mohit. They became very much mohit over Mohini avatar. Shukdev Goswami said, when Lord Vishnu was thus requested by Lord Shiva, who carried a trident in his hand, he smiled with gravity and replied to Shiva as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is known as Yogeshwara. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna. Mystic yogis want to acquire some power by practicing the yoga system, but Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is known as the Supreme Lord of all mystic power. Lord Shiva wanted to see the Mohini Murti, which was captivating the entire world, and Lord Vishnu was gravely thinking of how to captivate Lord Shiva also. Therefore, the word Bhava Gambiram is used here. The illusory material energy is represented by Durga Devi, who is the wife of Girisha or Lord Shiva. Durga Devi could not captivate Lord Shiva's mind, but now that Lord Shiva wanted to see Lord Vishnu's feminine form, Lord Vishnu, by his mystic power, would assume a form that would captivate even Lord Shiva. Therefore, Lord Vishnu, was grave and at the same time was smiling. Now, Supreme Lord is speaking. When the demons took over the jug of nectar, I assumed the form of a beautiful woman to bewilder them by directly cheating them and thus to act in the interest of demigods. So initially, the Amrit Kalash was snatched by the demons. But how does somebody save the pot and give it to the demigods? So the Lord had to come in Mohini avatar so that he captivates everyone's attention, and thereby she took hold of the Amrit Kalash and started to distribute to demigods. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead knew that because Lord Shiva is not an ordinary person, he cannot be bewildered even by the most beautiful women. Cupid himself tried to invoke Lord Shiva's lusty desires in the presence of Parvati, but Lord Shiva was never agitated. Rather, the blazing fire from Lord Shiva's eyes turned Cupid to ashes. Therefore, Lord Vishnu had to think twice about what kind of beautiful form would bewilder even Lord Shiva. Consequently, he was smiling gravely, as stated in previous verse. A beautiful woman generally cannot induce Lord Shiva to be lusty, but Lord Vishnu was considering whether there was any form of woman which could enchant even Lord Shiva. So, O best of demigods, I shall now show you my form that is very much appreciated by those who are lusty. Since you want to see that form, I shall reveal it to your presence. Shukdev Goswami then continues, and after speaking in this way, Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu immediately disappeared, and Lord Shiva remained there with Uma, looking for him all around with his moving eyes. Thereafter, in a nice forest nearby, full of trees with reddish pink leaves, varieties of flowers, Lord Shiva saw a beautiful woman playing with a ball. Her hips were covered with a shining sari and ornamented with a belt. Because the ball was falling down and bouncing up as she played with it, her breast trembled, and because of the weight of those breasts and her heavy flower garlands, her waist appeared to be all but breaking at every step, as her two soft feet, which were reddish like coral and moved here and there. The woman's face was decorated by broad, beautiful, restless eyes, which moved as the ball bounced here and there from her hand. The two brilliant earrings on her ears decorated her shining cheeks like bluish reflections, and the hair scattered on her face made her even more beautiful to see. As she played with the ball, the sari covering her body became loose and her hair scattered. She tried to bind her hair with her beautiful left hand. At the same time, she played with the ball by striking with her right hand. This was so attractive that the Supreme Lord, by his internal potency in this way, captivated everyone. While Lord Shiva observed the beautiful woman playing with the ball, she sometimes glanced at him and slightly smiled in bashfulness. As he looked at the beautiful woman and she watched him, he forgot both himself and Uma, his most beautiful wife, as well as his associates nearby. So, so here it is mentioned that Lord Shiva, who was generally not captivated by much beauty or any women, but Mohini avatar of Lord Vishnu could captivate Lord Shiva also, and Lord Shiva started to get very much attracted towards Mohini avatar. And Lord Shiva was supposed to be above all this attraction, but he was victimized by captivating the power of Lord Vishnu. And Rishabh Deva in this context explains the nature of lusty attraction in a particular verse, and the verse translates like this: that attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to the body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. When a man and woman exchange feelings of lust, both of them are victimized and thus they are bound in the material world in various ways. So when the ball leaped from her hand and fell at a distance, the woman began to follow it. But as Lord Shiva observed these activities, a breeze suddenly blew away the fine dress and the belt that covered her. Thus Lord Shiva saw the woman, every part of whose body was beautifully formed, and the beautiful woman also looked at him, therefore thinking that she was attracted to him. Lord Shiva became very much attracted to her. Lord Shiva, his good sense taken away by the woman because of lusty desires to enjoy with her, became so mad for her that even in the presence of Bhavani, Uma, he did not hesitate to approach her. So that was the description of how Lord Shiva got attracted to Mohini Murti. And we'll take one or two verses and then probably stop for today. तबे नाही ला मोहा वैष्णव सभारा पूर्वानुग्रहाचे हे तुतारा. But the assembled Vaishnavas were not bewildered because of the benediction they had previously received. Kripa jala nidhi prabhu haila sabare, sabara janani bhava haila antare. The Lord became like an ocean of mercy to everyone. In their hearts, they all accepted him as their mother. परलोकाहैते येन आईला जननी आनंदे क्रंदना करे अपना न जानी. Feeling as if their mother had come from spiritual world, they cried in ecstasy and forgot themselves. That is why in our Vaishnava culture, any lady other than one's wife one considers as one's mother. That is why these Vaishnavas who were already spiritually educated or spiritually enhanced, they considered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Supreme Goddess as their mother. Hare Krishna will end here and continue from 137 in the next class. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
much. Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all.
Thank you,
Mataji,
Mataji.
I've sent you
Dandavat
a
pranam.
message, Mataji. WhatsApp message. You can just
Hare
read that,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hari Bol.
Yes, Mataji, I saw it. I'll come back to you. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol. Dandat Pranam.
Hare